everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Armbar Audio, where this episode will be covering Impact Wrestling's awesome homecoming event, and afterwards we will be speaking about the epic announcements made at the All Elite Wrestling Rally. But to start things off, we have a guest with us here today. His name is Colby, and he was in attendance at Impact Wrestling Homecoming. Colby, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Colby, nice to talk to you again. I know we had a little bit of on Instagram. We did a little thing here on our story about Impact about a month ago. So I figured you were the perfect person to contact, and lo and behold, you were in attendance for Homecoming. How was your experience?
It was pretty good, man. It was fun. The crowd was hot. I kind of watched Homecoming after it already aired that day, and I think the audio was messed up or something. But the crowd was a lot louder in person than it was when you were watching it.
Right. I don't know. They seemed pretty loud to me on the show, but maybe in person. Oh, there's Omega. That's our new cat. Anyway, yeah, the show itself seemed very strong. There were points, especially during the Lucha Brothers match against LAX, the crowd was on fire. The crowd seemed to be on fire during the main event, especially for Cage. What was your favorite match being there in attendance? And what was your favorite match when you watched live? Or were they the same?
Well, I didn't watch it live all the way through yet. And when I was in attendance, my favorite match was definitely the LAX versus Lucha Brothers tag team match. That was incredible.
Yeah.
And Ultimate X was actually pretty good too.
I agree. I thought top to bottom this was better than Bound for Glory, possibly better than Slammiversary.
I'd say it's better than Down for Glory, but not as good as Slammiversary.
Right.
I didn't necessarily like some of the finishes to a couple of matches, but I can kind of understand how they're trying to build storylines from those finishes. And you kind of don't want to have Brian Cage lose cleanly, I guess.
Right. Speaking of the losers of all of the 4 title matches, it got me thinking with all this AEW stuff. Is Tessa, Cage, Ethan Page, Swan, Trey Miguel, or anybody like that, or the Lucha Brothers? Are we going to see them in All Elite Wrestling? And I know you know more about the contract situations than I do.
Yeah. Tessa Blanchard is under contract until the end of 2020. The Lucha Brothers, I've heard from a lot of people they're booked until 2020. I don't think they have an official contract with Impact, but they do have a contract with MLW all the way through 2019, as well as AAA / Lucha Under. So, but the way I was reading it, or the way I'm thinking, since Chad Khan said something about AEW's schedule being very light, is that they'll be able to work for other promotions while working for AEW. So that would be my hope. They don't become another WWE in that poaching other companies' talents and stuff.
Yeah. I think Cody and them get where wrestling should be going in terms of content and where the scheduling, because so yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I hear a lot about the Lucha Brothers going to AEW, but if they're allowing them to also be in MLW and everything, that's only a good thing.
Yeah.
So
a couple other people you're talking about, Trey Miguel, Ethan Page, and Brian Cage, they all seem like they're very happy with Impact from the way they post on social media. I think Brian Cage posted after the homecoming event. He said that Impact's not had a bad pay-per-view since the new regime took it over.
yeah, and the new regime also thinks like AEW does. They allow their talent to go other places. So
Page says he wants to be the face of it. I don't see him leave. I think he's under contract too.
maybe he doesn't leave per se, but maybe he shows up on Double or Nothing or something like that.
Right.
Like not their weekly show, but
I could see him making an appearance in another Battle Royal if they decide to have one.
yeah. I mean, it's no secret that Callis and Scott D'Amore want their talent everywhere they can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about Rosemary? Did you lose your mind?
I was screaming out. I'm going to take credit for starting the very first Rosemary chant, the one where they were beating down Kiera Hogan, because I had a feeling that she was going to show up. But man, dude, that was the loudest pop thing I've ever seen in person. I was screaming. I've lost my voice from that. I'm a huge Rosemary mark.
Dude, I think same with me, and I think Rosemary is their John Cena. Like,
yeah,
I think she's the backbone because she's been there through everything and she's still wrestling. I mean, you could argue Abyss, but Abyss takes its spots. Rosemary's
Abyss is kind of in this older years too. Rosemary's still in her prime.
Yeah, and she's such a character.
Yeah.
So, what were your favorite moments of the evening? And then you could plug your stuff, and then I know you have to go to work there, Kolb. So
okay. My favorite parts were the LAX Lucha Brothers match, Rosemary's return, and overall, being part of a crowd that was not dead like the Orlando people were.
Right.
Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. Not as good as Slammiversary Series last year. I'd rate it as Impact's second best pay-per-view they've had since the new record.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in case you didn't hear, Impact will air on Twitch simultaneously with their Pursuit broadcast.
Yes. I'm so excited for that because no one has an excuse anymore.
Yeah, and
to not watch it, and it's no more illegal streaming or downloading for me because I love
Yeah,
Impact.
I don't. That Pursuit channel doesn't exist to me.
Pursuit didn't exist to me. Pop TV didn't exist to me. The one Destination America didn't exist.
I'm very happy because I have a way to get back into Impact, which is what I've been wanting.
Woo!
Yeah, man. It's exciting times.
Absolutely.
All right, so anything you want to plug there, Kolb?
Well, if you are an Impact fan and you like memes, I have a Facebook page called Impactful Meme. So that's about it, though.
All right.
It's been good talking with you guys.
Absolutely, Colby. Always a pleasure. And we'll see you down the line. DJ, you asked for...
DJ Storms, you did ask for some TakeOver UK predictions. I think we could squeeze that in very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're also going to be doing live reactions to the show.
We will be doing that.
So if you want to join the chat, DJ, I know you are the master of controversy.
Let me go ahead and... If you want to talk to the lovely people, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the NXT UK TakeOver card so we can look it over.
Right. Impact Homecoming like Colby said, was probably the second best pay-per-view that they've put on recently. Slammiversary is hard to top, especially because it was such a monumentous occasion. But Homecoming was so fucking good. It, like, this weekend of wrestling with this past few days, Wrestle Kingdom, New Year's Dash, Warrior Wrestling, which we're going to cover later in the week.
Yeah.
On Saturday. And then Impact Homecoming, and then the AEW rally, which we're going to get into. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. It is an exciting time to probably be a wrestler. Competition breeds good shit. I mean, everybody talks about how good the Attitude Era was. Well, what do you think you're going to get now? I mean, it's only going to go better. Everything's going to get better.
Elite Era.
That's right. So, DJ, you wanted to know our predictions for the show for UK TakeOver.
Okay, I think we'll talk the one non-title match and then the 3 title matches.
Sure.
So we have a no disqualification contest. Which one? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
I was off screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have a no disqualification
The
contest.
people love to see your beautiful face.
I know they do. Dave Mastiff versus Eddie Dennis. I think anybody who tries to go into a no DQ match with Dave Mastiff has a death wish and is a fool.
I think...
But Eddie Dennis is a big guy, too. He's big this way. Dave Mastiff is big this way.
Right. I would say that everyone would think Dave Mastiff, so I'm going Eddie Dennis because he's a heel and they probably aren't going to end the feud here. I would not be surprised.
Eddie Dennis having access to weaponry could help him because it's a no DQ match.
And he's good at it.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they adopt some type of storyline with Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis, as that has proved to be a moneymaker for Progress. So if things get a little out of hand with Dave Mastiff, then...
there's only 4 matches, and it's supposed to be a 2.5 hour show.
Then I expect Andrews to get involved somehow.
He did just mention that there's only 4 matches, and it's a 2.5 hour time slot. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were other matches thrown in that we don't know about.
Yeah. You may get to see that, DJ. I imagine Travis Banks is going to be there in some capacity.
We've got, for the NXT UK Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defending against Toni Storm.
We support Tony. We support Toni Storm. I also support Rhea Ripley. It would be sad that she would lose the title so quickly, but Toni Storm won the Mae Young Classic, and she's cashing it in on this. I'm thinking Toni Storm wins. Yeah. Especially with the controversy that's happened. I think the brass probably feel for her.
Yeah.
So,
but she's also just so organically over. I think it would be a discredit to that to not give her some sort of time to shine.
mm-hmm.
But it doesn't necessarily have to happen now, because Rhea did just get that title, and she is on the up and up as well.
Yeah. So either way, I'm going Tony. He's probably going Rhea, it sounds.
I'm going to go Rhea, just to be
either way,
different.
I'm going to be happy with the outcome.
Yes.
We got Mustache Mountain against the grizzled young vets of James Drake and Zach Gibson. And, Mustache Mountain and Pete Dunne have put this whole scene on their back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying they're not going to be the inaugural champions. I think the fact that Zach Gibson was in the final of the tournament and lost to Pete Dunne, I think this is where he gets his redemption. I think the Grizzled Young Veterans will become the first ever UK Tag Team Champions.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, but it also would make a ton of sense to put it on Mustache Mountain because of what you said. They've been carrying the division the whole time.
Right. And then the last match. So you're going Mustache Mountain?
I'm going to go Mustache Mountain.
I'm going Grizzled Young Vets. The last
The final match is for the big one, the NXT UK title. It is it Joe or Mark? It is Joe. It is Joe Coffey trying to wrestle that title away from the bruiserweight Pete Dunne, who I am picking because he will never lose that title.
I don't think he'll never lose it.
I don't think he'll never lose
But
it, but I'm just...
He's not losing it here. And here's why.
Pete Dunne's the
Joe Coffey
freaking man.
And Pete Dunne are going to have a great match. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang are going to try and get involved. Mustache Mountain, who just lost the title, the title match in my eyes, are going to come and help Pete Dunne. And Pete Dunne is going to break those fingers, and he's going to do the bitter end, and it's going to be a retain for Peter England, a.k.a. Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
So, DJ, those are our quick predictions for the UK NXT TakeOver.
Yes.
That we will be doing live reactions for this Saturday. This coming Saturday afternoon.
2 p.m. Eastern.
All right, let's get into our official Impact Homecoming review. And I did not take this one lightly. I mean, in my notes and stuff.
Right.
I was just the whole show was just everybody. People need to jump on the Impact bandwagon. I know that TNA had a bad rep, but for God's sake, this new regime is better.
TNA had a bad rep, I would say, for...
You have a great day too, DJ. Keep it up.
Okay. I'd say TNA had a bad rep, and I hate to say it, but I don't honestly say it for good reason. But ever since the show was taken over by Don Callis, Scott D'Amore, and I think there was somebody else, but I can't feel the life of me.
Ed Nordholm's throwing the money.
Yeah. Impact has been fantastic. You can't deny the talent that they have anymore. They've got Tessa Blanchard. They've got Johnny Impact / Mundo / Morrison / Boone the Bounty Hunter.
His wife, Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, Taya Valkyrie is fantastic. Jordan Grace is amazing. Kiera Hogan is amazing. Allie, Sue Young, Eddie Edwards, Moose.
OVE.
OVE. They've got Tommy Dreamer, and it doesn't suck.
Right. Matt Sydal.
Yeah, Matt Sydal. They got Rich Swann, and Rich Swann, who has reinvented himself after the bullshit claims of domestic violence that Sue Young herself discredited.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're waiting to jump back on the Impact bandwagon, do it this Friday because it's their first show on Twitch. If you don't have Pursuit, you don't have an excuse to not watch anymore.
Right. I agree. So let's get into the review.
Match number 1 was the return of the Ultimate X. It was Jake Christ of OVE, Trey Miguel, who they were just calling Trey. Trey Miguel is of MLW fame. Rich Swann and All Ego Ethan Page. Going into this match, had no idea that Don Callis created it.
Me either. Yeah, actually, I heard him talk about it on a podcast a couple months ago, but I had no.
That was a really cool piece of info to find out.
Yeah.
Shit.
My thoughts on the match: Jake Christ had some crazy kicks. Ethan Page body slammed Trey from the top down onto Jake and Rich on the outside. Jake missed a double cutter from the top, then crotched Rich and Trey and hit the double cutter. Ethan Page climbed, kicked Chris down, but instead of going for the title, dropped a huge elbow. Trey Miguel hit a flurry of offense, ending with a double stomp to Swan's back of the head. Page swung Trey off the top and hit him with a backbreaker. Jake hits a leg drop to Page off the rope. Jake throws Trey through the middle rope at Page, who hits a Rana. Jake hit a tornado DDT to Trey, and Swan knocks them all back down with a corkscrew plancha. Trey hit a huge moonsault off the structure to all three. Tower of Doom with a Meteora from Trey to All Ego Ethan Page. Jake with a tombstone on Swan on the ramp. Then he takes him all the way up the entranceway to try and keep Rich away from the ring. Jake goes for the ropes, but Page jumped from the turnbuckle with a spear. Rana off the top to Trey by Swan. Trey Rana Swan off the top, but Swan lands on his feet, and it's a race to the title, and Swan grabs it. This was the X Division. This was everything the X Division's about.
Yeah.
All four competitors brought it. I was super impressed from the get-go of this show.
Absolutely. The X Division is what made people pay attention to TNA in its first incarnation. It's back when you had guys like Low-Key, before we knew he was a shit garbage human being.
Or just a mark for himself.
Sanjay Dutt was in there. You had guys like DJZ when he first showed up was part of the X Division. But yeah, this was, I would say, the rebirth of the legitimate X Division. Because the X Division was, at first, basically Impact Wrestling's cruiserweight division. Then they started letting anybody go for the belt, and it lost its way for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, I would be very interested to see if Rich Swann chose to invoke option C and go for the world title.
Be interesting. We just had that, though.
Yeah.
And at the end of this show, we kind of are set up for the next competitor.
You're right. You are correct. Yeah. Okay.
So, match number 2, we had Dark Alley and Sue Young against Jordan Grace and Kiera Hogan. I really love this storyline. It has shown Allie's wrestling chops and her range as a character. If you followed Allie / Cherry Bomb before she got to TNA or Impact Wrestling, you know she's good. But the storyline that brought her into Impact made her look like she didn't know what she was doing, that she was relearning everything. Right. And now we're starting to see the real Cherry Bomb / Allie. Jordan with a low lariat to Allie, like Tomohiro Ishii. I love that she's adopted that move. And Allie tags Sue. Jordan tags Kiera. Kiera is on fire against Sue, smashing Sue in the corner. Sue picks the ankle of Kiera on top, and Sue and Allie double team. Kiera in the Tree of Woe, and Sue picks her head up and starts doing Kawada kicks. Then she hits a neck breaker. Fantastic spot. There was a point where Jordan Grace had Sue Young or Allie in a power slam position, and Kiera put the other on her shoulders, and she did a power slam, power bomb combo. There was a lot of keeping Jordan out of the match. So it all ends up coming down to Allie did the claw to Kiera. Jordan stopped it, but Allie pushes Jordan into Sue Young, who missed Jordan. Yeah. And Jordan's basically out. Allie hits a code breaker and the claw to Kiera for the win. Sue and Allie beat down Kiera after, and Sue calls for the casket. and the undead bridesmaids bring out the casket at the top of the entranceway. Sue throws Kira out, dragging her up. She calls for it to be open, and out comes Rosemary.
Absolutely.
And Sue is scared shitless. She throws Sue into the bridesmaids, and Rosemary and Allie meet in the ring on their knees, and they stand. And then Rosemary puts her hand above Allie's head,
Yeah.
which kind of like signifies her trying to get the evil out of her. But Allie didn't want it. Allie crawled out and retreated. But the crowd popped huge for Rosemary. I popped huge for Rosemary. I've been waiting for her to come back. All 5 of these wrestlers played their roles perfectly. There's nothing you can complain about.
Absolutely. This was another great showing for Jordynne Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And another great showing for Kira Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And another great showing for Sue Young. And another great showing for Allie. It was great stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. The absolute power that Jordynne Grace brings to the ring in the women's division at this point cannot be matched.
No.
She's
Stick Mama Pump, baby.
I think it could possibly be matched by Ty Valkyrie. Because Ty Valkyrie has quite a similar body type to Jordynne Grace. And
she's a little bit taller, but
yeah,
she's muscular.
She's got the hench, as they say.
Yeah, she was a personal trainer.
Yeah.
For all that.
I'll tell you what, man. Would not hate seeing Jordynne Grace be the next challenger for the Impact Women's Championship. But we'll get into that in a minute.
She's going to be, but who she'll face is a mystery.
Yeah.
To me.
Yes.
Jordan's getting skyrocketed.
Yeah, rocket strap.
Rocket strapped.
As my boys E and C like to say.
That's right. That's right.
Let's get into match number 3. But before we get into match number 3, my thoughts on the match were this was the progression of the matches throughout the show was very natural.
Yeah.
It all led to the big culmination at the end, and it was really cool. Starting with the Ultimate X match was genius on Impact's part.
I agree.
Because I like a nice high energy starter.
Yeah.
That gets people into the show.
You need to go high like that, and then go like that, and then dip a little, and then come back.
Yeah.
You need peaks and valleys for your show.
And I think Impact has always been really good about finding the best flow for their events.
Right.
Match number 3 was a Falls Count Anywhere contest between former best friends Eddie Edwards and Moose.
Everything that Moose tried to do to Eddie Edwards, Eddie turned it into something bad for Moose. Moose set up a guardrail on the steel steps and the apron. He ended up getting backdropped into it. Moose took Eddie up to the second level of the arena there, and he went down, and Eddie Edwards ended up cross-bodying him. Moose was through about 7 chairs from the crowd into the ring, into a pile, and what happened to him? He got superplexed onto the pile of chairs. This match ended when Eddie had the kendo stick and was just whacking Moose.
Yeah.
And we see Alicia come down and try to stop Eddie. But she grabs the stick and smashes Moose over the head with it, gives it back to Eddie. Eddie hits him one more time, hits the DDT. Eddie wins. What a blow off for Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
Alicia and him are back together. Moose has been silenced. And this was just a feel-good. This was a hardcore match with a feel-good ending.
Yeah.
So the whole you know Tommy Dreamer is behind booking this shit. Because he's been there with Beulah and Raven. So anyway.
Yeah, man. Eddie Edwards, as what I'm calling him, is the new student of Extreme.
Yeah.
Is what I'm calling him.
I like that, dude.
It is, he is being led to the promised land of hardcore by one of the greatest hardcore competitors of all time, Tommy Dreamer. And Tommy Dreamer was just recently joined again by none other than Raven, who, if you know the hardcore wrestling community, Raven and Tommy Dreamer are two of the top stars in that division, or in that style.
Especially in the West.
Oh, definitely.
We're not talking deathmatch crap. Sorry for all the deathmatch fans.
We have what could essentially be called a deathmatch coming up in 2 matches here.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, man, Eddie Edwards, good stuff from Eddie. Moose tried to play Eddie's game, tried to play into the hardcore, and it got turned against him.
Yep.
That progresses the storyline. That's good.
Yep. Next, we got Willie Mack against Sami Callihan.
Return of the Mac.
This was set up because Rich Swann, who is Willie Mack's partner and friend, does not want any part of OVE, and Willie Mack doesn't understand it.
Who would?
So there's something going on there. Willie hit a tope con hilo on Dave and Sammy. Willie runs after Dave, and Sammy catches him with a clothesline. Sammy slams Willie's head off the apron and then pump kicks it. Standing moonsault by Willie for 2 after Sammy tried to slow the match down for a bit. There was a huge cannonball and a sky high for 2 by Willie Mack. Power bomb and V-trigger by Sammy for 2. Pop-up forearm, stunner, 2 count for Willie because Sammy's foot was on the rope. Willie goes up, but Dave stops him long enough for Sammy to jump up and hit an avalanche Death Valley driver for 1. Lariat for 1. Sammy turns Willie inside out with another lariat and wins with the Cactus Driver 97. It seems this story is far from over.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. We still need answers from Swann. I like that this match slowed the pace down of the pay-per-view.
I think we are eventually going to see Willie Mack coerce Rich Swann into a tag match against OVE.
And see what happens.
And possibly bringing in some reinforcements and make it a 6-man tag.
You know who would be good? His old partner in Lucha Underground, M-Dog Matt Cross.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
So, match number 5, we got Monsters Ball. Eli Drake. Dummy. Yeah. Against Abyss.
Monster Abyss.
Before the match, Eli Drake was interviewed, and there was a cage behind him in the back, and he was like, "This is where Abyss was born. This is where he crawled out of."
Yeah, was Eli Drake drunk?
No, because they were at the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
where everything started.
Mm-hmm.
But this shit was awesome. There was a staple gun
I was
involved.
more talking about the way he was talking.
Oh.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, right.
It's like he was going nuts.
They were throwing production cases at each other. At one point, Abyss was stuck.
Yes.
His arms were over the top rope. His legs were through the second rope. And Eli went to run at him with a chair or something. And there was 2 tables set up on the outside. And Abyss just overhead belly to bellied him. And he cleared the first table and went through the second. It was insane. Abyss pulled out the tacks and tried to choke slam Eli. He missed, but then he ended up choke slamming him on there, or didn't he? He ended up choke slamming him on the tacks. He went to go get Janice, and if you don't know what Janice is, that's a spiked plank of wood that Abyss is in love with. Eli threw tacks into Abyss's face. He zip-tied Abyss's hands and goes to town with a chair. Abyss broke the zip ties, but gets hit like 20 times with a chair for a 2 count. Eli gets his wooden paddle. Huge wooden paddle. If you ever seen the movie Dazed and Confused, where they paddle like the freshmen.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that, but similar. Eli got the wooden paddle and broke it over Abyss's head for the win. I was very happy that Eli Drake won because Eli is the future and Abyss is the past. I appreciate Abyss and all the things that he's done, but Eli Drake needs to be one of the top faces, if not the top face of this company going forward.
Now, this was insane. Anytime the words Monsters Ball and Abyss are put together, you're going to get something gruesome yet enthralling.
Yes.
I am reminded of the barbed wire massacre match between him and Sabu years ago. Eli Drake finally succumbing to the hardcore and knowing that that's what he had to do to put Abyss away was the perfect culmination of this feud and this storyline.
I agree.
I'm also happy that Eli won, but to me, I love seeing Abyss in a Monsters Ball match.
Yeah. It was good stuff. Match 6 was for the Impact Tag Team titles. The longest reigning Impact Tag Champions, LAX of Santana and Ortiz, against the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. And I wrote a bunch of stuff,
this was
spots, and I'm not going to read them off for brevity's sake, and because you better go watch it. Yeah. Don't listen to me tell you about it.
This was
watch
literally
this fucking match, because when I talked last episode about Will Ospreay and Kota Ibushi being a Match of the Year candidate, we're only like halfway through the first.
There's another one.
This is another.
Yeah, there's another one. This was literally a you versus me match because it's your team versus mine.
But I love the Lucha Brothers.
I know you do, and I love LAX too. But you know who I was pulling for. And
you know who I was pulling for, right? This was just insane, man. Like, it's a Match of the Year candidate. Conan came out afterwards and was proud that both of them could be professional, and he was happy for both of them. All of them got their hands raised at the end. The entire crowd stood up and was clapping after this whole string of moves. There was a code breaker with a double stomp for 2 by the Lucha Brothers. Then there was a reverse powerbomb from Santana to Phoenix. Ortiz with a splash off the top. Pentagon ran over Ortiz to break the pin and hit a destroyer on Santana. That is only a tiny bit of the action that I can describe of this match. This match needs to be viewed by every wrestling fan, unless you're just like a WWE mark. And even if you are, some of you may like it. So match 7.
Match 7, bring in the controversy. Match 7 and 8 both bring in the controversy.
Impact Knockouts title match. Tessa Blanchard, who has a terrible attitude, against Taya Valkyrie.
I believe she's now
loca.
I believe she's now calling herself unfuckwithable. Yeah.
Oh, she has a shirt.
Yeah.
Tessa B ain't nothing to with.
What does Taya Valkyrie call herself?
La Güera Loca. It's
the
crazy blonde.
Okay. I thought she was saying Paraloca. So I Googled that and found out that means crazy bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, that would fit too. You guys
she
put
was
that
in
on
Paraguayo's stable. So anyway, and the special guest ref was one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, especially from the West.
Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer.
Gail Kim. Taya has a new hairstyle.
I say that because I don't think enough credit is put on the Impact Hall of Fame.
I agree. Even though it's withstood the test of time, it's been there longer than WCW.
Yeah.
So anyway, Taya has a new hairstyle that fits her better. I wrote that because that's how I feel. Tessa took control early with some great kicks, an apron DDT and a dropkick to the head into the guardrail, which was sick. Double knees in the corner by Taya. Taya reverses the hammerlock DDT into a Northern Lights suplex, rolls through, and hits a double stomp. Taya misses a huge moonsault, and Tessa hits a spear for 2. Tessa hit Gail inadvertently, but hits the buzzsaw DDT, but Gail is down. Tessa goes to hit Taya with the belt, but Gail and Tessa play tug of war. Tessa lets go, and Gail hits Taya with the belt. Inadvertently. Gail counts the 2 count because Taya kicked out. Tessa pushed Gail twice, and she was looking for a DQ win.
Yeah.
Gail pushes Tessa into a schoolgirl for 2. Magnum off the second rope for 2. If you don't know what a Magnum is, it's a code breaker. It's named after her stepfather, Magnum TA. Tessa chokes Gail for the DQ again, but Gail hits her with Eat Defeat, and Taya hits her with Valhalla for the win. We get a new knockout champion to a loud mixed crowd. There were boos, there were cheers. It was a great match.
Yeah, but the cheers came about because Tessa is a heel in the Knockouts division, and it was, to me, this was basically a face referee and a face superstar coming together to dispose of the despicable heel character.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. So the next match was the Impact Heavyweight Championship match. Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage.
This was an awesome match.
Both these dudes can do unbelievable things in the ring, and they did. There was a spot where Johnny flipped sideways to the outside and hit a knee to Cage's face, which was like insane. This is another match like the LAX Pentagon match where I can't describe to you everything. But Cage came out with his greatest homage to Kenny Omega.
Right.
Because he is a machine.
Yeah.
He had he was, other than we saw Kenny Omega come out at Wrestle Kingdom 12 as Schwarzenegger's character. Right. He was more of the T90X or whatever T9X machine.
T90X?
Well, I don't.
Like P90X?
I don't remember what it's called because I'm not. I know the nerdy Mark can tell me because he fucking loves action movies.
Brian Cage needs a workout regime called T90X, Stand Up to Terminator.
Yes, I agree. And you know what it is? It's a whole half hour of this.
No, don't be mean. Don't be mean.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
He may be natural. But the match was very good, you know. It was
he's as natural as a Big Mac.
Yes, I know it's the Terminator. What are the bad guys called? What are the machines called?
Yeah, what are the actual robots? Are they just called Terminators? I thought
it was like T9X or something.
I thought Arnold was like the Terminator. Skynet. Yeah, kind of Skynet-ish.
No, now he's saying oh.
Yeah.
He always says oh whenever he figures something out.
Right.
So the answer's coming.
We'll get it.
Anyway. So after the match, there was a lot of throughout the match.
Yeah, right.
T1800.
T18.
Anyway, oh Christ. Okay.
What's that, a calculator?
Yeah. Is this a Texas instrument? Anyway. So throughout the match, Cage had the crowd. There was very
He really
outspoken
did.
Johnny fans, but Cage went
I was
over the crowd.
very surprised to see any crowd not 100% behind Johnny.
Right.
Because they usually always are.
Right. Cage tried a second rope drill claw, but Johnny spins over and pins him from a schoolboy slam pin. Cage throws the belt at Johnny and leaves. Cage had the match won. Taya comes out to console Johnny and raises his arm, and the crowd
boos.
And the crowd boos both of them, who are champions. I think that they have to turn them heel.
I think it's because they both won in such controversial fashions.
Yes. I think they both need to turn heel, but out comes Killer Cross, who attacks Johnny, but Taya jumps on him and
attacks both of them.
Yeah, she jumps on him and rakes his eyes, but doesn't faze him. He power bombs her into the crowd, and the crowd's going crazy for him. Killer Cross is a heel. The fans are going crazy for him. Impact's a face. They're booing him. What's gonna happen?
Fans were chanting "Thank you, Cross," and which quickly turned into "Kill Cross Kill."
Yeah.
I'm like, are we seeing the first ever crowd heel turn? The whole crowd.
It's the double turn.
Yeah,
it's the double turn.
It is a double turn
involved with Cage. So we're probably gonna have a tweener.
I can't imagine Killer Cross being a face.
Killer Cross is gonna be the heel. Cage is gonna be the face, and Johnny's gonna be the tweener.
But Cage doesn't even fit the whole face persona either. It's so strange to me.
It is, but that is wrestling in 2019. You like who you like. You don't
whatever
like
happens,
who you don't like, and that leads us into the
whatever happens. It's going to be the shit.
Yes, and that leads us into the AEW rally. Cody Rhodes had some great things to say. Wins and losses are going to matter.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up.
You can be a fan of any wrestler you want.
I want to talk about something here. I'll let you.
Yeah, but Cody said a couple of things that I really liked, and those are two of them. He addressed that the heel face stuff is old. You could like whoever you want. The wins and losses are going to matter. Matt Jackson came out and announced that they have a partnership with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, which is spearheaded by Sema, who left Dragon Gate, and his group, the Strong Hearts. I was very excited to hear that. Then we got MJF come out, and
dude, you know me.
He's better than us.
You know that I love MJF.
Yes.
And I fucking love that he's going to be part of AEW.
And after he shit on the crowd and Conrad for so long, Joey Janela came out with a steel chair and whacked his ass off the stage. So Joey Janela, MJF.
Yeah, what I wanted to mention was
Britt Baker showed up and talked about women's wrestling.
Yeah. All Elite Wrestling is going to have a women's division, and the women are going to be paid equal amounts to the men.
Yep. They said that Matt Jackson said that All Elite Wrestling is paying good money, and that makes the wrestlers happy, and happy wrestlers make for happy fans. So there's a whole new ideology.
Now,
he said Cody said something about you can get opportunities, and we all know from wrestling fans that WWE in the 90s said we can give you the opportunities, we can't give you the guaranteed money.
Yeah.
That's why certain people went to WWE and certain people went to WCW. But it seems like Cody and the Bucks are learning from WCW's mistakes, and they're going forward instead of backward. We also got to you're going to talk a little bit, and then I'll my end.
So the main thing I wanted to mention was that I think it is incredible the response that All Elite Wrestling has gotten already. Because this rally / press conference that we're talking about, this was picked up by Forbes, CBS Sports, and Newsweek.
Yeah.
That means this is actual news.
And what else? What else you said on Twitter about Cody? Oh, the next event, not Double or Nothing, but the event after that
Yes.
is going to support victims of gun violence.
Yes.
So people can see it as political
And
or not, but I see it as humanitarian.
What I said was, anybody that sees this as political or sees it as a bad thing is people that Cody doesn't need at his fucking show.
And the end of the rally, we got Chris Jericho. And it was amazing. And he said, not only are we here to change the world, which has been the tagline, but we're here to change the entire universe, baby!
Yeah.
The universe, the WWE universe. He shat on McMahon. I'm gonna puke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna puke. Hunter, if they try to come into our SmackDown, you throw them out. You understand? I don't want to see an AEW, Young Bucks, or Cody Rhodes shirt, or Chris Jericho's. By the way, who runs the goddamn internet? You go on there, take Chris Jericho off and put him in the alumni page right away. Oh, I think I'm going to shit my pants.
You already did it on Can't WWE, Mr. McMahon.
But I'm going to do it in real life because I killed Turner and I'm going to kill Khan. I'm going to kill Khan.
Khan!
Because I will get Billy Shatner. Star Trek, idiots.
Mm-hmm.
You ever watch that? You ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a Star Wars fan myself.
You would be.
All right. So, with that,
that's it.
We say goodbye.
Hold on. Hangman Page was up there.
Oh, shit!
I can't believe you didn't fucking mention this. Hangman Page appeared at the AEW rally.
They got the man that I forgot.
We see Hangman Page appear at the AEW rally. Says that he is going to be the first AEW champion, but is interrupted. You talk about being a champion, but I am already a champion. That's actually really good.
You couldn't lace my boots.
Yep. So I want
fucking Pac, bitch.
Yeah. Pac is there. Pac / Neville. So I'm gonna run down a quick bullet list here of all the AEW shit. The first thing that happens is we are introduced to the first round of signees, which are Daniels, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky.
SCU!
They reveal that they have made a deal with a promotion in China called OWE to work with them and develop talent that haven't been seen in America. Double or Nothing will run on May 25th at the MGM Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Brandy Rhodes, who is the chief brand officer, comes out and announces that All Elite Wrestling will have a women's division and that they have met with some of the top Japanese wrestlers and will announce more on that later. Women will be paid equal to the men, and according to multiple reports, every contract in All Elite Wrestling is for the same amount of money. Other signees announced were MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Joe Janela and Penelope Ford, We've got Pac, and we've got Jericho. Those were all the signings announced at this event.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I mean,
Come on, baby, do me here.
we are. May 25th is going to be here sooner than we know it.
Oh, of course, everything's moving faster because we got shit to do, man.
Yeah. And I think it would be ridiculous of us to not consider doing a live reaction special for Double or Nothing.
Yep, we're requesting off work.
So, with that,
wherever you are in the world, whether it is morning, noon, or night, you have a great one, and peace, and love to all of you.
and in the words of our friend Omega Luke,